Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Ironis Insights. I have another guest here, Richard Carey, who's the AI Whisperer, also the CEO of RCDM Studio. Thank you for joining us.
My pleasure.
Where are you calling from today?
I'm in Massachusetts today. I'm
Amazing.
I'm based in Brooklyn, but I've gone digital nomad for a few months, so
Fantastic. Well, it's a beautiful day in New York. I'm sure it's beautiful where you are too. And it's a
it
beautiful
is.
day for a podcast. So I'm really appreciative of your time. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your background? You're doing some really cool stuff. The AI Whisperer, you've been working with all these different tools and helping people implement them. What made you get into the space? You said you were an early offline. We were talking that you were an early adopter of, always technology, and that's kind of your way of life. So why don't you give us a little more on that?
That's taken me from linear media to interactive media to digital media, and all the way through the food chain. I began as a maker. I
Hmm.
began creating media for either for my own ideas as an independent producer director, or bespoke for a client, or working for a large company,
Hmm.
RCA, music videos, Scholastic, or CBS and so forth. But when the internet when the internet blossomed, I saw where things were going. I've always adapted. I just changed my camera from film to videotape to a keyboard. I tell stories and I make things in different ways today. That's how I started. But the more I was a maker of digital media, I saw a need for digital marketing to get those products out there. Um, it's lovely to create an elegant piece of software, painful to watch your client not make the most of that. So my career has evolved in that way. And of course, AI has been in the back room for a long time.
Yeah.
4 years ago, approximately, um, OpenAI released ChatGPT. I don't have to, tell you how quickly it's advanced since then. Being a unapologetic early adopter, I'm like, oh, great, new toy.
Yeah.
The first, the first use I put it to, I was blown away.
What did you
And
do?
at the time I was contemplating a children's book, and I used it to comp images so that when I sat down with an artist, I could say, well, I want something like this or something like that.
Yeah.
And the results were scary good. The
Hmm.
results were photogenic, really truly photogenic, but dramatic, and dramatic according to my prompts to do this or do that, right? So that was 4 years ago. I Probably a day has not gone by since I've not used AI for one thing or another. So I'm a fairly heavy user, and the longer I am involved with this, and the more I talk with people, I realize there are a lot of people who know about it, who want to use it, who are frustrated that it's overwhelming. Maybe they don't have a technical background, or maybe they think they need to have a technical background. Not that they do. Um, so, as the AI whisperer, I've started working with small and medium business owners and executives, uh, putting AI to very productive use in their operations.
I've seen that a lot, right? I mean, there's especially with SMBs, they don't necessarily have obviously the funds or the scale as these larger organizations that can do this stuff in-house, and they have whole teams to implement them and pick which ones that work and maybe make some proprietary solutions. SMBs are like, "Ooh, I hear this AI thing, that can make me better." So, and they need to know what they could be doing better, right? And they need someone like you to basically fix that and implement that. So I think it's a real niche problem that exists out there, but it's not necessarily a small item. I mean, there's a ton of people out there that ask me every day, like what they could be doing. Because I'm also an early adopter. I'm also always been into technology, building computers when I was 12. Um, and you know, when you're playing with these new toys from conception, it's you start to get very good. And then everyone sees you as the expert, and you naturally draw this attention to be this person, this spokesperson to is the all-knowing AI guy. So I don't know if I'm the AI whisperer, but I definitely can appreciate what you're doing, and it certainly makes a lot of sense.
Well, it sounds like you're as much of a whisperer as I am, probably. Um, but when you get in on the ground, when you get in early with
Yeah,
new technologies, everybody is a beginner,
yeah.
and and you have then that early learning to build on, and it starts to go. Your learning starts to go exponentially faster to the next thing, to the next thing, to the next thing. I remember, I mean, I'm dating myself, but I remember when Photoshop came into the market, and I was a very early adopter as a essentially a visual artist at that time. Um, and then as they released more features and more features and more features, I just layered that on top of the basic understanding that I had. I think with AI, it's so darn powerful. And what we're seeing now is not just chatbots. Chatbots are, the entry level today, but agentic AI, and now things like OpenClaw that hook together different operations, so the AI can run itself against a large task, or can run itself, automatically. I have an AI that goes through my several email accounts and calendars in the morning and gives me a a schedule of what's going on, but who I need to respond to, and so on. It knows the projects that I'm working on. It knows the deadlines I'm working against, and I give it agency to block out a couple hours here or there for different tasks that are my priorities for the day and for the week. So it's
And
like
you
having
use OpenClaw?
I am working with OpenClaw. I haven't built anything yet in OpenClaw for that. For those tasks, I'm using Claude Code and Claude Work.
So you made your own program, or is it the Claude work? What I forget what it's called. It's the Claude Cowork. Is that what you're using?
Claude Cowork, right, right.
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
Well,
interesting.
I've created prompts that work in that environment and achieve my goals.
I mean, that's what we're talking about here. Just efficiency. Waking
Huge,
up, waking up
huge.
every morning and having your tasks just at your desk and not having to think about it. I mean, I'm still guilty, and I don't know if I'm guilty, but one of my exercises I like to do is write things down still, and and that's just to get the thoughts out of my head onto somewhere. And even with all the tools we have on the computers today, and
Mhm.
notes in your phone and whatever you use, I still think just writing something down just really helps. But you can still do that and have the back end of AI. You don't have to abandon all your practices, is what I'm saying.
Oh, I use file cards liberally.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean these new these new tools that are trying to integrate essentially an umbrella of your everyday work.
Exactly. Good work. Good word. Good
Yeah.
word. It connects different pieces, different tools to achieve a larger objective.
I think it's the new wave, and it's early days as far as I've seen as far as its capabilities yet. Yeah, they can summarize some emails and organize tasks and block out a few calendar spots. That's great. I think it's going to be much larger than that, and that's where we get into kind
Absolutely.
of the agentic AI stuff, building in some of that, right? Yeah,
Indeed.
yeah. You know, what are business owners misunderstanding the most about AI right now? You deal with mostly
That
SMBs.
is
What?
Well, the people that I come in contact with professionally
Hmm.
as the AI whisperer. So started out as a little tongue in cheek, but people respond to it.
I
So
love
why
it.
not? I'm running with it.
Yeah.
I'm not the only one, but I am one.
Yeah.
The people that I whisper to, small to medium business owners, uh, biggest misconception, um, AI is a chatbot.
Ah.
They're stuck in the chat GPT. And then there's Perplexity and there's Gemini and pretty soon they don't know whether to turn left or right, which one is good for which tasks. Their conversation gets spread across multiple platforms. Um, Needless to say, the more that you work with one platform, the faster it's going to get to know you, get to know your voice, um, your market, your projects, so on. So I think there's some strength there, but there are also applications that are off platform or that are off the main platform just because they're better. Right now, we're starting to see tools that bundle six or eight different AIs under one payment plan, and instead of maintaining multiple accounts, you have them all under one. But I still maintain that primarily working with one platform, letting it get to know you confidentially, of course, do not use this for training, right? There's usually that option. Um, Hopefully that works. I'm not a security paranoiac, so I may be foolish here, but I think the more that a platform gets to know you, the more valuable it becomes.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to see that more and more. And the more that we use or bring these umbrella tools into our practice, like OpenClaw, and there are other similar ones, including Claude. I mean, Claude runs in a very agentic way and we'll reach out and use different tools. Anyways, the more we do that, the more important it's going to be to um, get to know one platform.
Well, you nailed it. I mean, context is everything, right? It's only as good. I was speaking to another guest, and what did they say? They said um, AI is an ignorant genius or something, but or
Yeah,
something
I
of
used
the
to I used to call it my idiot assistant.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
but
exactly
that was 3 years ago. 3 years ago, it was my idiot assistant.
right.
It gave me small little increments of efficiency, leverage over this or that. And it was great. It was like it was like having a college student, at my disposal to go and do this or that. And then it was a graduate student, and then it was a postdoc graduate student. It's no longer my idiot assistant.
Yeah, I think it's more like the output is as good as the input, right? So you put
Very true.
make this email better, they'll give you a generic clean email, probably with some M dashes in it, and it'll be fine. But if you give it context, hey, I'm writing an email and it has to be in a sensitive tone because I know she just went through a personal thing in her life, and I can't address this issue in a direct manner. It needs to be kind of around the bush, but still get to the point. And you give them a paragraph, it'll be much better product.
Yes. Sometimes more than a good deal more than a paragraph. Context setting is crucial for good AI prompting.
Yeah.
And context in terms of who you want the AI to be, what role do you want them to play, references to external sources, whether that's content for what you're asking it to do, or whether it's an example, an end shot of something that's I'd like it to be like this. Not the same, but use this as a general model. So
Mm-hmm.
all of those things are really key. And the more complex the ask, the more the more complex the prompt.
Sure. Yeah. So, are you seeing certain industries embrace AI faster than others right now?
I can't really say that. I work with people in a lot of different industries. So I don't know that I have, I don't, as a boutique agency, we have a handful of clients
Hmm.
at any given time. With the Whisperer, the AI Whisperer consulting business, we're starting to see more in numbers. Um, but they tend to be small to medium businesses, professional practices, um, companies with, 10 to 50 people, um, who are looking for leverage, who are looking to do something better, and do it in the right way, making sure that it's secure, making, sure that internal systems are not compromised, and
Right.
all of those good things.
Well, when someone reaches out to you for help, like what triggers that conversation usually?
Usually they come across something that I've written, or a podcast I've been on, um,
Mm,
or organic search, or direct mail sometimes. I mean, I use a lot of different channels to make myself visible and available. Usually the first step is, they want to know more. They think I am the person to help them, which I am for most people, for many people, small and medium businesses in particular. I have an onboarding form for 4 or 5 pages so that we start off on common ground. Everybody's pain points are different, experience is different, comfort with technology, experience with different platforms. So I nail that down first, and then we just dive in. Um, and we just dive in. And where I like to start is a practical deep dive on what one of their major pain points are.
right.
And it usually proves to be productive and appreciated and valued, and then we go from there. It usually starts with an hour or two uh, commitment, and then it's often leading into retainer based relationships.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I think I know the answer to this, but I mean, what's harder, delivering the work or just finding enough of the right conversations with the right businesses?
I think that for any small business, finding the
Yeah.
customers has to be the biggest challenge.
I mean,
I do this because I'm passionate about
I
it.
can tell. Yeah.
Uh, I I've been working for a couple of years as a mentor for the SBA's SCORE program,
Hmm.
and that's given me the experience of diving in to a new business. I only have an hour a month, an
Hmm.
hour every 2 months with the mentees. So I have to understand their pain point, their problem, their friction very quickly. And increasingly, it is a conversation about using AI to speed the plow for them. Um,
Yeah. No, that's what I see a lot. There's there's so much passion I can see in your eyes when you talk about it. I mean, you really love what you do,
oh,
and
I drank the Kool-Aid.
I can tell, and so did I, right? And but it is so fascinating on what you can do, and especially the tools that Claude is working with right now, and the coding aspect of things, and just the way you're able to um, literally make a product and on your own if you have no coding background. It's just fascinating to me.
I came very close to launching a company based exactly on that. I mean, almost 100% developed with AI, from the concept to the business plan to the pitch deck to the demo software to the branding, the demo software. And I was going to, and perhaps one day we'll take it all the way through to building the application. Frankly, right now I'm having more fun whispering to other people because I get an idea of, and I learn what new things that are possible. It's growing so exponentially fast in capability. I mean, maybe doubling every 3 or 4 months and what you can do.
Yeah, I mean it's like you said earlier on when we just started with ChatGPT. I think I was doing the same thing. I was just messing around with like different images I could make with weird prompts. And now it's like evolved into so much more. And it was like the free version that you could only ask like 5 things, and then that was
Right.
it. Yeah, for the day. And it was like the beta version. Yeah,
Mhm.
now it's just like, and you mentioned something also, people using different LLMs and kind of just being patchy, right? Gemini, Claude, ChatGPT, Grok, whatever you're using. And what I've actually done, because I like to try different things and I like to
Mhm.
see what the different answers might be.
Mhm.
So, in order for them to get to know me, I actually do a full export and of all of my chat history. I have them summarize it, right, for the
Mhm.
sake of time and space, but I input it into the other LLM, and that way it at
Sure.
least has a little background on what I'm doing, and I can kind of check. But I do have my favorite that I use every day, and that's the one that gets to know me the best. But it is certainly an interesting game to play.
And what tool is that? What is your
I
what's your go-to?
I like Claude right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think most people do. If you look at the valuation of their IPO, yesterday, I think they are projecting coming out of the gate as a
I
$3 billion
saw.
company.
Yeah.
Um, but using it every day, using Claude and other platforms every day, I see why. I think the best thing that ever could have happened to them was their dust up with the Defense Department, and drawing a red line in the sand that they, or in their contracts, that
Hmm.
they would not go beyond. And that whole insanity, I'm like, oh, well, these people are actually ethical,
Hmm.
or
Yeah.
now I'm sure some of that is their branding, their brand promise, and
Sure.
so on. I would like to think that it's sincere, and I believe it is. And so,
Well, how about this? If you could do, if you had a magic wand and you could do one thing, you could change one thing right now, what would you change?
hmm, that's a big question. I don't know. In regards to AI,
Yeah, that's what we're talking
um,
about.
uh, I two things. One this morning, I think it was this morning, maybe it was yesterday. Anthropic wrote a post about hmm, maybe slowing down the development release of new models until we get a grip on AI
Mm-hmm.
replicating itself. And we're not there today, but at the rate we're going, we're getting there very quickly. And when AI starts replicating itself, I don't think that's a good, I don't think that's a desirable state. And I appreciate their leadership in calling that out. So I think that's one thing I'd like to see.
Hmm.
The other thing I'd like to see is more on a nuts and bolts level, right? So AI consumes a lot of compute, and people that happen to live in wide open places like Montana, where there's a lot of space,
Hmm.
they're hurting right now because these large infrastructure companies and brand names and not, are buying up, leasing up, and building data centers that are not maybe great neighbors. I would like to see the compute demands, and the ability to provide that streamlined and greened in some way, so that it's not as impactful.
Hmm.
Mhm.
No, those
I
are
think
those,
because there is growing resistance there, and I don't think that's good. I don't think the resistance is good because I think that this technology, it needs compute power. We need to provide that in in order to reap the rewards of it. On the other hand, if it goes too fast, too far, too fast, sorry, um, that's not good either. So those are the two things that if I could wave a magic wand, those are the problems that I would address.
yeah, I really do like those answers. I mean, I think if you get too far down the path, right, and without much, with not enough checks, safety checks, like let's slow it down a little bit. Let's see what we're doing. Let's evaluate. But I agree also, we don't want to slow it down too much. We want to reap the benefits of it too. So,
Yeah, yeah,
um, well, Richard, I just want to thank you so much
yeah,
for
my
this
pleasure.
conversation. Where can the audience find you and your company?
They can find me at rcdmstudio.com. And I think under services, they'll find the AI Whisperer. I
Yeah,
think, as with many businesses, it's a constant, constantly evolving. So one day it may be primarily the about the AI Whisperer. Remember, we're coming out of general software development and digital marketing. So those have been our bedrock services. But the AI whispering is a lot of fun right now. So that's where.
beautiful.
So
Thank you.
rcdmstudio.com. That's what it.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I'll put that below the video here, and you enjoy the rest of your day, okay?
Okay. All right. Thank you, Alex.
Thanks.